John McDonnell hailed the transformative powers of the Labour Party as he continued to defend his support for the Labour candidate Ian Bryn over previous abusive social media posts. Mr Bryn is standing for Labour in Liverpool West Derby, a Labour safe seat, in which former MP Stephen Twigg had a majority of almost 33,000 in the 2017 election. His candidacy was supported enthusiastically by Shadow Chancellor Mr McDonnell, as well as Laura Pidcock in the Liverpool Momentum campaign group. However, the Labour candidate became embroiled in a shocking controversy due to a number of social media posts, in which he used abusive language towards female politicians, mocked disabled athletes and made an apparent joke about wife beating. According to the Mail on Sunday, Mr Bryn wrote in one social media post that it can only be a matter of time before Boris Johnson's mum comes forward and tells us that she was raped by Jimmy Savile in 1963. Mr McDonnell said that he stood by Mr Bryn, explaining that the party had re-educated the Labour candidate, showing him the errors of his ways. The Shadow Chancellor told Sky News, Ian in the past has made statements, some years ago, that he now regrets. But the good thing about the Labour Party is we recruit people. We introduce them to new ideas, particularly around equality, and actually they learn and they are transformed individually. And I think that's what's happened to Ian over the years. He added, I come from a Catholic background and I have a great belief in the powers of conversion. And that's what we do. What we've seen in Ian Bryn is a transformation from years ago, and the statements he made, into someone who I know has worked in the Liverpool community establishing food banks, working with others and on equality issues as well. People change, and we've got to accept that. The Shadow Employment Rights Minister, Laura Pidcock, also voiced her support for Mr Bryn with a tweet in which she endorsed the party's ability to change people through education. She wrote on her Twitter account that the Labour movement is about educating people and it has done that throughout our history. It must be a space to learn, grow and fulfill potential. Ian Bryn has shown real understanding of his past mistakes and in my view his actions speak loudly about that journey. Mr Bryn has shown contrition for the posts, claiming that he is mortified by what he wrote and insisting that he is a very different person. Writing in the Liverpool Echo he said, 7 years ago I was working in a printing shop and at the start of my political journey. It is through political education and becoming active in the Labour Party that I've learnt about struggles for disabled rights and LGBT+ rights, and have strived to be an ally in those struggles, but not everyone in the Labour Party is convinced, with some calling on the party's National Executive Council to deselect him. The Labour MP for Walthamstow, Stella Creasy, tweeted, the acid test for any Labour member about whether action should be taken here by the neck is if you could defend this kind of banter on the doorstep. If you think you could, you probably need to take a long and hard look at whether you should be in a party of equality at all. According to Sky News, the NEC convened a meeting over the weekend to look into Mr Bryn's suitability to be a candidate. However, no decision was taken after the NEC was accused of not including enough female members on its panel. If you think you could, you probably need to take a long and hard look at whether you should be in a party of equality at all. According to Sky News, the NEC convened a meeting over the weekend to look into Mr Bryn's suitability to be a candidate. However, no decision was taken after the NEC was accused of not including enough female members on its panel.